It brings the chat box. I can see. Alright, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am, Sci-Fi Man. I'm with the changing leader and owner of the SAS. I have Aaron with me, who's my second name. And we also have a new player. Brandon is his name, so everybody say hi to him. Welcome to the fleet, Brandon.
Hi.
Alright, so real quick, if you are interested, again, as you all know, I am Jimmy Jr., Sci-Fi Man, otherwise known as Jimmy Jr., owner of the SAS. Quick look us up, glad to bring along, glad to help you load a lot and everything. Now this is the new mission. Spoiler alert, it's not that long. If you let Jody Latour do its talking, that's going to add in the time. But if you just power push through the thing, there's two accolades in the mission, and if you push through, it's only going to take you 5 minutes. As Aaron will tell you, this is a warm-up to what's coming, just before the winter event. This is just a warm-up. So go ahead, Aaron. What do you know about Jody LaForge?
Know a lot about Geordie LaForge. So he was in the Next Generation, as far as what series he was in. He was in a lot of the episodes. I mean, he didn't start out as the chief engineer of the Enterprise, but he ended up there by the second season. He was blind through some stuff that happened in the Briar Patch with the between the Sona and the Baku. He ended up getting his eyes back. So he was able to. He should be seeing with his own eyes.
No, in this one he's got those cybernetic eyes.
Really weird.
Yeah, if you look at the picture real closely, he's got those cybernetic eyes.
Okay. But yeah, he started out kind of like Wesley did. He started out as a helmsman on the Enterprise, and he had a really good day. Basically, he had a mission where he was basically in command of the Enterprise. Well, basically everybody else was on the ground, and he kind of helped save the day. So he did pretty good, and he ended up becoming chief engineer. He knows the most outside of Data himself and Dr. Soon about the Soon type androids like Data, Lore, and so on and so forth. Let's see, in this is a captain?
Yeah, he's a captain in this one.
Okay.
Alright, real quick, what you're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, let me clear out my junk that's popped up in the corner, sorry about that. What you're seeing is the Beyond. Now, this is basically each week, it's the same mission over and over and over, but each week you'll get a new reward. Now, the first week, you have a choice. You can pick up a console, which you can basically put in for your console, to your engineer, or a gun. Next week, you'll actually be able to pick up the third weapon piece, and yeah, it's taser, but it's got trilithium lace, which is going to be an interesting ability.
And I can talk a little bit about that if you want to.
Go ahead.
All right. So, as far as these rewards, the trilithium was a compound that was used during the movie Star Trek Generations. It is what Dr. Soren used to destroy the Amagosa star, which helped bring the Nexus closer to him, since he was trying so hard to get back to the Nexus during the destruction of from when he was rescued by the Enterprise B. So this trilithium stuff is super powerful and super unstable. So the weapons are laced with this stuff. The torpedo that's coming next week, the turret, or the phaser beam array, which is the week after, and then this console. The other thing to mention there is that gun. If you like role-playing Next Generation characters, that is a Type 3 phaser from the 24th century. So Next Gen era, it's a Type 3 phaser. So it's a phaser rifle from Next Gen. So if you like to role-play those guys, pick that up, because that should be lots of fun for you.
Yep. And, now, there is voiceover, so I'm going to let the voiceover kick in, just everything else. But if you are curious, more about the story, later on when I edit this stream and everything else, this is the week reward. if you want to get more intel, like later on, we'll talk about this, because like I said, it's playing to like 3 streams, so we're doing this. Go to patch notes here, go right here. This is a blog. This where you hear him, he's talking about his thing. I'll actually post this with this stream so you can see it. So if you're trying to get like background info, you're going to read this right here, which later on I will put into the stream so you'll be able to see it and what it's about. But this is the background info. You got O'Brien, you've got Captain Thorge. You basically start the mission like kind of like as you see right here, where you're talking to him, he's kind of telling his 2 points of scent and everything else, and it just goes from there. Now, honestly, I wish they would have done a little bit more, but as like Aaron just said, this is a pre-sequel to what's coming, and just to get to the winner of that. So this is leading up to the fun stuff.
Well, not the winter event, the season 14, which will happen before the winter event.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can kind of glance at it real quick. If you go right here, I will put a quick note later on after we get done with the stream. This is the new fleet holding that's coming out. Me and Aaron is actually going to do another stream.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll talk about that during the patch notes.
So, if you want more info about this and what me and Aaron think about it, please come back. Otherwise, we are not going to start this again. Yes, SAS, please look us up. We'll be glad to help you out.
Yep.
I am going to click on this. Now, there's 2 ways. You can go here, or you go to episode and click on this little guy right here. Go either way. Hell.
We recently received a distress signal from the USS Forrestal, a ship we thought was lost in the Nexus back in 2332. We sent the USS Madison out to investigate, but they haven't checked in for some time. Considering the Nexus is involved, they could be in trouble. The Madison's last known position was in the Rotanev system. Meet with the USS Challenger there to investigate the situation. Her captain has some experience with the Nexus.
Alright, go to this system, this blah blah blah. You'll get 10,000 extra T-points, 15,000 extra T's, 720 lithium, and these are the consoles that Aaron was talking about. This here, as you can see, is part of the 3-piece set. So if you want to start picking up these pieces, you need to pick up these pieces, and then next week and the following week pick up the other two. So if you're role playing, now like I said, on my Romulan, I picked up this guy, but on my Klingon, I picked up this little guy. This has got an interesting little artwork, and I went to the Zatari just to kind of shoot things up and kill things. I like this little guy. Alright, so let's go ahead and pick up the mission. Brandon, do you have the credit supply there, or do you have to, take the slow way of getting there? No, wait, if you go the other way, you can put transport there, right, Aaron?
Yeah, if you go through the, if you go into where you pick up missions, you click on the overview tab, there will be a banner ad that has the featured episode that will have a Geordie on it. It says play now. If you click that, there is a hail button and a transwarp button. That transwarp button is free.
Yeah. So right here, now see, I'm almost getting to do this, Aaron always, you'll watch my stream later on, dang, you transport, you did, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So, when you hear Aaron yelling at me, or you see him down in my chat boxes yelling at me, this is what he's talking about. You click on this, and it's free. It don't cost you nothing. Click here. This will pop up. Click transport. You'll automatically transport that. So, thank you, Aaron. You're always telling me to hit the transport, so I finally did it.
Yep.
I finally listened to that second in command. Alright.
Doesn't do it enough, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I don't. Did it put it all in their own incidents?
No. Brandon is in the same instance as me. Are you next to the system?
I am right next to the system, but there's like 100 people here. Alright,
Yeah,
when
that's
this
featured
happens,
episode.
just ignore it. Alright, now Brandon, when we go in, like I said, let me click everything. It might take a little bit longer. Sorry if you like speed run it, but I like to show off and make my comments. So, we're at the beginning.
Yep. Enter.
We will get a cutscene with Jodie LaForge. And that's all I'm going to leave it at.
Yep.
Good to see you again.
And I will be watching with
Looks
bated
like the
breath
two
because
missing
I've been
ships
waiting
are
for
here,
this.
Although they're both in a disabled state.
Okay,
Neither
you
of them
guys
have
are
responded
both
to our
working
hails.
on. Okay, you are in. Okay, Brandon, we're just waiting on you. Unless you're in your own incidents.
Brandon, are you in this?
To a different instance.
Yeah, you did.
Hold out, because if we
Yep.
start doing it, hold out. Yeah, when this happens, including it on you do not want to go in, because even though me and Aaron are together, Brandon will actually have, 3 of each, because it's all 3 that's teamed up.
You will be immensely
He will-
outgunned.
he will do suicide death. Alright,
Alright,
I did it again. I'm in my own incidents.
that's okay. Let's try again.
Alright, I am
Entering.
what's it in now. See, that puts us in.
Good to see you again.
It did
Looks
it
like the
again.
2
You
missing
know,
ships are here, although they're both
Brandon,
in a
you appear to
disabled
be
state.
unmatched
Neither
for
of
some
them have
reason.
responded to our hail.
Alright, hold out. Don't start it yet. Hold out.
Alright, one more try. Let's warp out.
Yeah, hold out.
And then we'll make sure you're...
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy will change instances if it does the same thing, so he's with us, and then we'll make sure we're all matched before we warp in.
Right there. Okay, alright. Double check. You are not met to this.
There we go.
Thank you. Alright,
Alright.
3, 2, 1, click. Hit accept, and I should put it all in the same incidents. Sorry about that, Lincoln. Yeah, the game kind of gets picky with their incidents sometimes.
Yeah, a new featured
Alright, I
episode,
just
bugs will
see
happen.
Good to see you again.
I see
Looks
Jimmy.
like the 2 missing ships
I
are
don't
here,
see
although
them.
they're
It's
both in a disabled
got
state.
Brandon in separate
Neither of
instance.
them have responded to our hail.
Brandon, when you're entering, what are you doing? Are you just telling it to enter, or are you getting the pop-up that says that everybody's moving, and it asks you if you want to go with them?
I pressed the accept button.
Okay.
Problem is we go
Alright.
in, there's a big time
One
at the beginning.
more try. Warp out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
warp out.
try something. Brandon, I want you to enter first, and we're gonna try
Yeah.
to follow you.
Yeah, we'll wait 5 seconds to make sure you're in all the way. Alright, I have Brandon in my
Okay, Brandon, match level.
Somebody's not into already.
Okay, go
Brandon's
ahead
right
and
next to me. Brandon's right here.
go ahead and enter.
Okay, entering now. You just go in, I'm looking in behind him.
Okay, I'm
Alright, Brandon's right
Opening
above me.
now.
I see him. Brandon's right above
Good to
me.
see you again. Looks like the 2 missing ships are here, although they're both in a disabled state. Neither of them
Entering
have
your own
responded to our hails.
okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Jimmy, run with Brandon. I am going to bounce out,
Okay.
and I'll go through it solo.
Alright.
And then if you want to ask questions about it
Alright.
after we're finished with it,
I'll
we can
put
do
it
that.
this way. Float and go. You see someone floating around, pay attention to him.
Okay.
I'll ask questions about floating.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop them, the team then, and then I'll pop into the mission on my own. You guys just go forward.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start clicking.
Good to see you again.
We have got
Looks
no
like the
doors.
2 missing ships are here, although they're both in a disabled state. Neither of them have responded to our hails.
Continue.
That's entirely possible. Even minimal exposure to the Nexus can be pretty disruptive to ship systems. I think we should take a closer look. Things could be worse than our initial scans have indicated.
Alright, let's take a closer look. Hang back when you talk my text, because we are together. Pulling aggro. Now you notice, ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here, that is Captain Joey LaThorge. And I'm going to give you a store alert. When the next tax thing comes out, all Galaxy class ships are getting a revamp, plus new interiors.
Apologies.
And
This
here we
ship's
go.
taken some damage here. Short-range comms are barely working.
Well, Jimmy,
We're
these are the ships that we saw
widespread systems failure on
in that
all
screenshot.
fronts. Our Nexus defense screens overloaded, and we were exposed to a full blast We're lucky to be here. We could use your help.
Okay, we're on our way. Hang tight. Now, tell them you're gonna go check what the authority says on this lady woman.
Something's not right here. I worked on the Nexus Defense Screens project, and a catastrophic failure like that seems unlikely. In an overload situation like she described, the ship wouldn't be disabled. It'd be destroyed.
Well then, let's get Silver and Skin on the other ship. Now, as you move in, spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, you got cuts and go to battle mode. This is a ship you have to look at. This ship here, this mysterious. Let's just say
Well, that one is an Enterprise C there. The one is an Ambassador class.
And here, the one ship.
Ooh,
And cutscene.
mercy.
Yes,
That was a good
it
cutscene.
was, dun, dun, dun. And
Well, at the very least, they seem to be following along with about where you're at. So,
yeah.
Whatever they fired just disrupted most of our systems. We're sitting ducks over here.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and collaborate. Brandon just hang back over and pull the fight.
Deck 10 on a Galaxy class ship. Okay.
We're still trying to figure out what they hit us with over here.
That's exciting.
Whatever it was, it knocked most of our systems out.
Yeah,
We're running on emergency power.
I
I think we'd better get over there and find out what's going on while we still have a functioning ship between us. Meet me at these coordinates on deck 10.
There's so many fun stuff on deck 10.
Brandon, I'm gonna pull him out on purpose. Bring you. Yeah, we wanna heal her.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Alright, go ahead and accept the team. Just hang back between me and my little Thor. We'll,
It's the right transporter room.
yeah.
Fortunately,
Oh, Jimmy.
The
console here is offline, but there should be a functional one nearby. From there, we can access the system and shut the fields down.
Correct interiors.
This is so
As you
happy.
saw, ladies and gentlemen, he's basically talking to us. He's telling us that we have to follow. I'm gonna put to sleep. Actually, my Andrew monster is in the door, ladies and gentlemen. You can't go down that way.
It's a holodeck.
This holodeck's damaged.
Holodeck!
Alright, hold it right there. Don't give away because it's what happened. Alright, ladies and
Oh, you're
gentlemen, this door right here. You go through. I am gonna put the stomach
All right.
as fast as possible. And there we go.
2 Epsilon. Or
Please, the Borg where?
The product will provide the
Oh,
And the door.
Virgin. I'll have Jimmy.
Oh, thank you. If there's anything I can do to repay you, anything at all.
Honey, I know what you think you can do for me. Come get her in program. I don't want to end yet.
That's definitely a Reg Barkley program. Let's get back to business. You'd better bypass security before they send more sparring partners to deal with.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Alright, let's go get over here, unlock the door.
Puzzle!
Mm-hmm.
I recognize this puzzle.
Yep. I'm not sure it's a bug. Don't close out when you're done. It'll actually keep writing. I actually got it up to 180 after I closed that.
We've had lots of practice with this puzzle.
Yep. But it just kept linking on. I don't like doing those.
I know.
Okay, that did it. Security systems are down on this deck, and they won't be putting us into another holodeck scenario anytime soon.
This is Commander Tobias. Please I repeat, if you can hear this, come to 10 forward at once. There's... Our defenses just dropped. We require your... They are closing on us. Hurry. It won't be long before they attack.
Well, then let's get
Someone's
to it,
jamming that
LaForge.
signal. We'd better get to 10 forward.
Agreed. You walk out the door. Run down here.
Wait, did you guys just start the inside of the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I join you on that part?
You have to go with Aaron. For some reason, it kept breaking us off. It's only letting us do 2 at a time. For some reason, it would not let us do a full 13 or 3. It kept breaking us off.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, you have to join Aaron. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, if you got watch, I already had a couple of people back out. What the hell it is? Just run on this corner, and here it is. You walk in, it's gonna kick in the next part. Walk up, talk to this lady. Oh, and before you do that, if you look out the window, yeah, that's the Nexus out that window, which is pretty looking. Pretty look at.
Pretty dangerous.
Thank you for coming. The Madison has been taken over.
Picking up transporter signals, multiple contacts.
Someone
You
click
got
the
incoming.
button. Get in the corner, I'll put a thyroid shield for you.
Enemy contacts inbound.
Alright, next wave. Now that's the final wave, because they're coming from both sides of the door, basically. Alright, continue talking.
Looks like
What is this nonsense?
Alright, now if you don't want to speed through it, you know, just talk to George, otherwise, everything else just gives you
Ensign
one
Rana,
factor info.
engineering. Sorry for staring, Captain LaForge. Your work on transwarp theory was required.
Oh,
with the
man.
Academy. I never thought I'd actually meet you.
Yeah,
Wish
we're
it were
not
under
doing
different
the
circumstances.
other crew.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
forget
in
the one
10.
that turned on the
Right.
bar.
Well, they hit main engineering
Yeah, I'm in 10
first.
forward.
If you're going down there, be
10
on your
forward
guard.
seems
Several of us tried to take it back a couple
a
of
little
days
small.
ago.
Yeah.
They beamed in and took us by surprise.
He's
I was the only one to make it back here.
now done. You got another lady way over here, which is at least tactical.
Ensign Seitel, security. You are arriving.
She's a...
fortuitous. Our numbers
She's a
have
compa.
dwindled considerably since the enemy's initial assault.
I saw her
Until your
taking
arrival,
that
I
test.
calculated our odds of survival at 4,286 to 1. Difficult to fully assess at this juncture. However, I am willing to state that our odds have improved considerably. If all of you were psionics, our odds would be even better. The alien is quite ineffective against those with mental abilities.
Okay, that one's not done now. Now don't talk to the door. There's another one that's hiding behind the bar here. And even though I just said Barton Town, my squad up or test.
Am I glad to see you?
You mean
Things
Cass?
were looking more than a little ugly until you got
Another
here.
dirty thirst lady
I'd pour you
picked
a
up.
drink, but all of
Enjoyed
the
it.
replicators went offline an hour ago.
Cass.
Yes.
K-E-S.
Oh, I thought it was Steve. Oh, never mind. Okay.
Sure this can be, under the circumstances. Still amazed we haven't been dominated by that alien. The commander thinks it's because we all come from a species with psionic abilities. As good a reason as any, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
man.
go to the torch and go to the next area.
I have a bad feeling about this, Jimmy.
I have a feeling these attacks will
I'll give you
intensify
that.
as the
Corner
alien
wall.
gains strength.
Hug the
If we're going to
corner
do
wall.
something to save this ship, we'll need to do it fast. Let's get down to main engineering. I think we can get a better grip on the security system there and use it to incapacitate both the hostile crew and the alien.
Okay.
Take these psionic inhibitors with you. We hope to use them on some of our dominated crewmates prior to your arrival.
Moving on.
But I suspect they will
Deck
serve
10.
you
Oh,
better
transporter
this
room.
time. They should protect you
Hello,
if the
transporter.
alien attempts to take control of your minds.
Means I've come full circle.
Yep. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, simply walk up the door here. Run down.
There was a door I had to go to.
Yeah, just come straight out the one corner, go straight down that, straight to that. Alright, beaming down. Now, as soon as you're being in, I am setting up the firewall right here. Just hide behind the shield.
Engineering deck. Woohoo.
That corner, lock that corner.
These guys. I know these uniforms.
Watch it! They're beaming in reinforcements.
By the corner. Like I said, this could have thought about it. Hug this corner right here. Engineers, you got your toys, such toys right here. I'm gonna stay alive. This toys up because one toy just got blown up.
Heads up!
Take care of this
More
group.
I think engineering is also a little small.
Yeah.
It's sad because engineering on the Voyager layout was actually a little closer to accurate.
Yeah. Alright, there. Lord's just gonna say he's gonna work on the new thing.
Hey, look, here's where I would blow up the ship.
We've got a couple of problems here. Main power's offline, and there's a lot of Nexus radiation getting past the screens. I'll handle the power situation while you deal with the radiation. Once that's done, we can bring the security systems back online.
Understood. Now he's gonna run over there, clip that thing. You go over here, clip this.
Oh, another puzzle. Radiation puzzle.
Yep.
First one was dilithium puzzle.
Yeah, this one's the wrong one. Maybe this one, embassy thing in.
At least they didn't create a more difficult puzzle.
See, that's gone better. See, that's floating out the bottom thing because she got the 165.
Nice work. Radiation levels are back in the safe zone, and I've managed to prime the warp core. Give me a hand with it, and we can restore main power.
Yes, sir. Now, nice little kid lost. It's not in here. It's back there, as you notice. So go back towards the back door, and now right over.
Oh, that's why it seems small. We're on the upper level of it.
Warp core is stable. I've activated most of the security systems, but it looks like the bridge is still under enemy control. It's a good bet. That's where the alien is.
The thing I told you before, you're about to lead on. Take them to the end, tell me what you think. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go to the bridge. Strong warning, when you walk in the bridge, you get indoors. So start setting up your toy the second you go in. Strong warning. And then the acolytes in that spot, I'll tell you what. Oh, Floaty.
Belong to Cosmo.
Who the hell are
Starfleet
you?
disagrees with you on that.
Your words mean nothing. Kill them. Kill them now.
Yeah, as I said, just the toys right up here.
We are here to assist you.
The rest of the bridge crew will come in and out. You need to get killed.
I wish I could call my security team. That would be great. This guy.
Alright, now, if you want to accolade, do not return to your ship. Ignore. Third accolade. If you're standing here,
I'm reading the alien on sensor.
Hang on, Jimmy. I'm
That's
fighting
the
this
force
guy.
stall. This isn't over yet.
No, you don't. Alright, reckoning.
The Challenger might be able to fight, but most of this ship's crew is unconscious. Beam
You
back
get
to
out of
your
red
ship
alert
and deal
here.
with the force stall. I'll do what I can here to get the shields up and keep the Madison in one piece.
Understood, Captain, but do not be now. If not now.
Yep. Got it.
First one, go to left. Go down this little hallway right here. Go down this other hallway. There you go. Lounging authorization, which is the third accolade. If you look at it, you can actually see the deck of the ship. That is the third accolade. You get it.
I found the other one.
Yep, it's in the office. Alright, next one. Go down this way. Go down this way. Jump over the tunnel here. Jump over. Walk over here. Now you're going into the ready room, basically. Walk in. And there you go. Ready for anything. Second accolade. And then D9 touch the tissues. Now you gotta notice, if you look with the ships here, that's a Miranda class T6. So that's an interesting little combination. You're on a Galaxy class ship, but you got a Miranda T6. That's an interesting little combination there. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that.
I'm reading the alien on sensors. It's back on
click,
Challenger.
Click. Alright, go ahead and accept.
The conference room seems about right in terms of size. So does the bridge.
Yeah.
But engineering and 10 forward, the transporter room's about right too. But engineering and 10 forward definitely.
Alright, when you get on screen, he's gonna yell at you.
So you strike me anew again and again until nothing remains.
I'll stand down.
Once I was imprisoned within the Nexus, cast away for defying those who called themselves my rulers. And now a new jailer comes, demanding submission.
Right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I'm talking about. A new person comes in, calls themselves rulers. A new jailer comes in, demanding. That's my question, Aaron. That's my question. Okay, release the ship, release the crew, or you'll have some photons to deal with.
No, I need this ship and everyone on it. They give me what I need to return home and avenge my imprisonment. I will not give them up.
Now, that's my next question. He needs the whole entire ship. He needs all those people. He needs everything to avenge his imprisonment. Who came in to imprison him, and who is he talking about, I wonder? Alright, return to
Challenger stands ready to assist you.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put Echo again. Because he's gonna put out everything. Firing.
Target
Quarterly firing.
Got him.
Yep. Into the hell.
It seems I am at your mercy. Will you strike the killing blow now, as is your right?
No, we're just gonna take him to custody because we want to know who the hell you are.
If that is to be my fate, I yield. The ship and crew are yours. It is an unexpected mercy, one I would not extend to a vanquished foe on the battlefield. Much has changed since my banishment to the Nexus.
You made the right choice. Again, who the hell are you? And then that's it. You were, moving up from the thing.
Nicely done. I was able to get a call into Starfleet, and we should have backup here soon. In the meantime, I'll keep working with the crews of the disabled ships. We'll have them up and running again in no time.
Glad to hear, Captain George.
You saved a lot of lives here today. You showed mercy to someone who wasn't inclined to return the favor. That goes a long way in my book.
Thank you again.
You're welcome. Once we're done here, we'll go back to working with the Lucari on a big project.
Right there.
I've enjoyed seeing their protomatter technology firsthand. Hopefully, we won't run into any Zenkethi trouble while we're out there. I'd rather not see their protomatter weapon in action if I can avoid it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you just saw right there, or what you just heard right there, this is a pre-sequel to what's coming. You know, the big feature that they said that's coming, the big thing.
Season. New season.
Yeah, thank you. The new season. So granted, like I said, this is just a little teaser kind of. When's that one touch coming out again? September? October?
It's October or November, I think.
Just you throw the winner of that, basically. I keep looking at the date, but then I don't remember the date. So just you throw the winner of that. Alright. Well, safe travels, Captain. See you at the base stop. What the hell? And then that's it. It's over. So like I said, I mean, 5 minutes. Hug the walls. Engineers at you. Set up your toys. Let your toys handle it. Tacticals, hug the wall. Use the wall to, block the directed fire. Science, I'm not sure. So I've done it on the tactical and I've done it on, my engineering. And I've done it on science yet. Alright, so we're now going to go ahead and clean.
Interesting report. This alien
now I did the console to start. I would like to go and redo this again, maybe a little later to
apparently there's at least one life
get
form
the
out there who disagrees.
The phaser.
Fortunately, you saved a lot of lives and 3 Starfleet vessels. Captain LaForge tells me they'll spend some time in space.
I have some thoughts
They'll
about
be ready
this.
for duty again soon. And we can use all the ships we can get on the frontier these days.
I was trying to look at the
Well
thing to
done.
see if it said what the date was that it launches.
And like I said, Linda, I'm going to take up the first piece. Again, this is a 3-piece set. The other one is not. It's just a ground set. It doesn't give you no bonuses. The reinforced armament, that's a 3-piece set. And each week you're going to get another piece right there and then another piece right there. And that will complete the whole set. So I'm going to take up that. Okay, there's that. So, there's you, Brandon. I know I kind of rushed you through it. What did you think of that?
I don't know.
Alright, and your thought. And again, like I said, who the hell was the ghost?
Well, I have some. I definitely have some ideas. So there's a couple of things that remind me of a very early season of Star Trek: The Next Generation that involved Tasha Yar. More specifically, that involved Tasha Yar dying.
Oh yeah, I think I know which one you're.
Oh, you need to do the lock thingy.
So, a couple of I guess things that point me in this direction. And that blob thingy's name was Armis.
Oh, thank you.
Armis.
Is that the council's name?
No.
Let me check. Reinforced armor. Never mind.
No, the console is.
Never mind. It just, you said armor, and I suddenly thought of the console. I was like, wait a minute, ain't that the...
Yeah.
the
So, Armis, for those of you ladies and gentlemen who don't know your next gen story, was basically, there was a species, we never really found out a lot about them in this episode, besides the fact that Armis hated them. But basically this species wanted to purge all of the crap from them. So basically any negativity, anything that made them aggressive, anything that made them warlike, anything that would make somebody a bad person. Artemis was basically a congealed blob of this crap, basically. And he could take human form or humanoid form. He never took a full humanoid form like this thing that we saw. However, some things that make me think that he is related, that this thing is related to Armis. First is the holodeck simulation.
Yeah.
In the episode in which Tasha Yar died, Counselor Troy was imprisoned in a crashed shuttle. on a planet that looked a lot like that. And if this was a if this was a Reg Barkley holodeck program, who do you think Reg Barkley would have been trying to rescue?
Yeah, her.
Counselor Troy.
Yeah.
Now, this was glitching, so you didn't have the same person.
Yeah.
So there was that.
Yeah.
Then he talks about, so we'll go with how he looks. He is all black, kind of looks like he's made of stars, basically. Armis had a similar appearance as far as what the texture of him was made of. I mean, he was this shiny black stuff. And he, so Armis was similar in appearance. I mean, Armis never went full on humanoid. Like he wasn't as defined as this thing was.
Do you really want to get technical? The only closest he did have a kind of a head and kind of arms.
He kind of
he
kind of popped out at chest height.
Yeah.
That's about as out of his puddle that he got.
Yeah.
So you have that appearance. Third thing, his voice.
Yeah.
Find yourself go to YouTube and find yourself a clip of that episode.
Alright.
Listen to him talk.
Yeah.
The voice is very similar. There is also the fact that he is talking about he was being imprisoned.
Right, and that's why.
Now, Armis was sort of just thrown out like garbage. So there is a possibility that he was intended, maybe for the Nexus, like this thing was, like this bad guy was, and maybe didn't make it there.
Right.
Or maybe the Nexus hadn't gone through that planet yet, because it only appears so often. That's why Soren in Generations was trying to bring it to him.
Right.
So it's possible that these people who were trying to purge all this negative stuff cast him to the Nexus. That's where maybe this guy comes from too. Right. It would make a lot of sense if what he wanted to do was to get back to where he came from and take vengeance on the people who put him in this situation.
Right.
Which Armis wanted to do too. Well, Armis would like to have gotten revenge on, but he was so warped and twisted for being cast aside that he was just taking his amusement out on everybody that he could, which is why he kept Counselor Troy in the shuttlecraft so that she could experience what was happening to Tasha Yar outside.
Yeah. Keep going.
So those are my big things, and it was also how he was surprised that he was shown mercy because he doesn't know mercy. Right. The people who would have cast him aside would have been like, "You're crap, go away. I'm gonna flush you." So there is that.
Right.
I think we are talking about the same species.
It's not the no, is it?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna share the Discord real quick.
I think it's the very last episode of season 1.
That is the list.
It is also where we find out that Data gets possession of the hologram, the little portable hologram picture of Tasha Yar, because they have the little funeral service, and Data's the one who gets that. Which becomes
Skin of the Eagle, just down there.
Yes, Skin of Eagle.
Skin of the Eagle. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
There should be a picture of Armis on that.
Yeah, I am looking. All right, so this is the episode that me and Aaron are talking about. It's called Skin of the Eagle, which came out just like you said. Just like the third one.
No, he stands almost all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here is the picture. Oh, go.
Yeah, because he kind of towers over Riker. So, and Riker, Jonathan Frakes a tall guy. So.
Yeah, so there he is, right
there. It looks like stars. It does look like stars.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yes. The way
And
that
in Star Trek
the
Online, the
lighting
best way to in Star Trek Online, the best way to manufacture that particular effect would be to make it look like it was a dude made of stars, which is exactly what that guy looked like, and everything about it screams that. Jimmy, I am as certain about that guy being related to Armus as you were about Noi.
I totally agree on that.
I remember because you called that, spoiler alert, that Noi was a certain character.
Yeah, because like I said now, Brandon has not done the whole storyline yet.
I'm not gonna spoil that much.
God, Brandon, just be ready for constant battles. You got a long battle.
Well, it's Star Trek Online. It's all constant battles.
Yeah, you're right. Because I did it first on the Romulan. Now, the Romulan, he died because he was just not geared correctly. Whereas now Klingon, he was geared to kick ass. But I was like, this guy, I couldn't place him until you told me said, again, you're right. So, yeah. Well, the only thing is, here it doesn't say anything about the Nexus. How did he and the Nexus...
Well, that's what I'm saying. They may be making a jump. Because we know that the species that cast Armus aside kind of just left him out there. It's never really said whether they just left him on the planet or whether the vessel he was in crashed there or what happened. He may have been meant for the Nexus, or maybe they don't imprison all of them the same way.
Yeah, like they do in Q, remember that one Q? They got
because it's like not everybody throws out their trash the same way,
Right. Right. So this might have been his way of being in prison.
Yes. He also could have been a and that is a thing about Armus too, is that he did have psionic and telepathic abilities.
Yeah.
He could read people's feelings, just like Troy could.
And I do know, just before this show actually started, Captain Troy was sensing about the line, but she couldn't place who this person was until they little dinged down. And then, oh shit, it's you.
No.
Different episode, but okay.
She stopped the president, he stopped the president until they dinged down.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the range of her abilities is weird, but yeah, Troy was already on the ground.
Yeah, but they didn't sense each other, but he kept playing with her. But then the way she was learning, I don't think she was playing with him, but she was learning and studying and challenging back. She was challenging back, even though she was wounded in the shuttle. But yeah, I totally agree. Somehow, someway, this guy's going to be, like you said, I'll open this up again. I'm sorry, this is not as close. I wonder if I can see the image. Let me swing that over. See the image.
Yeah. So I mean, everything about running through that mission, and as I got closer and closer through it, and as he kept talking, I'm just like, it's Armus. It's gotta be Armus.
Yeah.
Or something like Armus. Well, no, because Picard left Armus on the ground, but he had a name. So this guy is calling himself, he's not calling himself Armus, so it's not the same dude. But he's at the very least the same, quite possibly the same species. Or what's left of the same species.
That's as close as I can get. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Jimmy, try that.
Yeah. That's a good shot.
That's a better picture. Thank you, though. Yeah, this one right here, this is the one I was thinking of, ladies and gentlemen. Let me grab this picture.
Wobble said memory-alpha.wikia.com.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm on. For some reason, it was showing this other picture. But no, you see, this is the one I was talking about. Well, no, he's actually got legs. It looks like he's got legs in this one, whereas the other one, you just
No,
see
this
his
one
arms.
he's fully standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still in the puddle though, so like
You
he
know.
doesn't have.
And then I'll kind of give you a spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. The background, when they, because I do have the collector's edition with everything else. When they did this one, they actually had a guy, in like those dark blue suit type thing, and they were just dumping black tar on top of the thing. So you could see the tar just dripping, and then they quickly started running the camera as the tar gets dropped down on it, and slowly going down the suit here, slowly. That's why I said black tar. So. That's an interesting theory. That is an interesting theory. Alright, well, we're coming up on...
And actually, the more I read this and the more pictures I look at from that episode, the more I think I'm right. In fact, you can, behind him, you can see, like in the one picture behind him, you can see the nacelle of the crash shuttle.
Yeah, the one shuttle that Troy's stuck in. Well, here's the thing, here's the next time. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, how this usually works is, it's the same mission. So when you're going for the reward, it's the same mission over and over and over. Is there... Deciding when the next one's gonna be?
When the next what?
Now that you got me thinking about this, or do we have to wait until?
Well, so generally how this works, when they bring a new season out, we will either have one featured episode, and then they'll continue a chain of featured episodes leading up to possibly the anniversary event or the season 14 and a half event. So you could be looking at a series of featured episodes that are just, sort of slowly spread out, which they have done, and works pretty nicely because that's what they did with Future Proof, if you remember. Or they could do something like they did with TOS and give us, or not TOS, but with Yesterday's War, where you get a couple of missions and then you get more stuff later. But we will see more of this kind of stuff after season 14 launches in October or November, whenever it actually is. I still haven't found the date.
There's actually written right here. Announcing the complete actor near and snow, blah, blah, blah. I just seen a date in here.
There's no date in that article. Besides the tier numbers for the weapons and the stats, the only other number that's in there is that it's season 14. So no, there's no actual date in that.
Okay, I took it back. Yeah, because I seen like, it'll take 20 numbers, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we'll come back. This is going to be another string right here.
So to kind of give you an idea, there's a lot. It's like when we did Future Proof, or when we did the Iconian War, or Delta Rising, where there are a lot of stories going on at the same time right now. We are still dealing with the Zenkethi. We are still dealing with the Lucari and Kintari. We still have Mirror Lita out there somewhere. We have this interesting development that happens at the end of an episode later, or a few featured episodes back, that involves Sela and a character that we will not name for fear of spoiling things for people. If you want to know who that is, go back and if you want to know who that is, go back and watch the episode where we streamed that.
I told you so.
Yeah. And so I mean, there's a lot still going on. There's a lot we don't know. We don't know why the Zenkethi are setting off these proto-matter bombs. We don't know what enemy it is that they're.
Before you go any further, what do you think is his little cannon at the end? I ain't looking forward to going there and working on that. So I hope that it something with that at the front of that. What do you think is his little cannon on that one?
Wait, what?
What Lethord said at the end, I'm looking forward to looking at that, or proto-matter, and working on that technology. Well, what do you think?
I mean, I imagine it's leading to this colony stuff because if you look when we look at this fleet holding stuff, a lot of it is based around the Lucari's proto-matter technology. So we'll have that. The other thing that we have going on in all of this is that so we don't know why the Zenkethi are bombing these crystals. We don't know who they're fighting.
I'm talking to the cryptolites.
I would be very happy if they were baby crystalline entities. We don't know what enemy it is that the Zenkethi are fighting. We're dealing with the whole relationship with the Lucari and the Kentari. Martok, we found out, is actually alive and is gonna shake some hope. I really hope he shakes some shit up in the Klingon Empire.
Yeah. And they did say on the Wednesday stream, ladies and gentlemen, store, they did say on the Wednesday stream, the next 3 or 4 stories is going to be Klingon days. Now, we already had the one where we had to save Martok, that's the one. We've got at least a couple more that's going to be Klingon days. So you Klingon players, cut long, the crowd. We've got some Klingons.
Oh yeah. So I mean, there's a lot going on and a lot of stuff that we still have a lot of loose ends we still have to tie up and a lot of things that they're going to bring in. We need to figure out what's going on with Sela, and that other unnamed character. Yeah. We need to. Oh gosh, I mean the Nexus is here now. Geordi's here now. They have been. They have been hinting at a lot of next generation stuff lately, which is super cool.
I'm going to give you a clue, ladies and gentlemen. When Christmas, I think, comes around, get ready for Christmas time. Battles, you already have an idea who it is.
We weren't spoiling things, remember?
Yeah, but Christmas, Nexus.
We weren't spoiling anything. But yeah, it's going to be a really exciting time. So.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead because according to this thing, we supposedly want
Go ahead and cut the stream.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to cut the stream.
Yeah, for some reason this thing's saying I don't think it's gone to go ahead, but ladies and gentlemen, okay, again. Let me close this down, go away, go, start talking everything up on trying to, Alright, so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am Jimmy Jr., leader, owner of the SAS, just like that Squadron. On the Klingon side, we are the Klingon Honor Guard. If you're interested in joining us, please look us up, we're glad to join you. I have Aaron, who's my second in command, I've got Douglas, who's my third in command. Brandon, welcome to the fleet, glad you did join us. Give us a shout. We do these live streams and everything else. Give us a few moments. We have to go into the patch notes and a couple other notes. So thank you for watching. You Federation players, let alone Proctor. You Klingon players, God law. You Romulan players, join on the cool. And we will see you out there in the stars. Bye now. Aaron, Bubbles.
Night, everybody.
Bubbles. Bubbles already told us on that. Hey, Brandon, you want to say anything?
Bye.
Good night, everybody.